Heading into 2025, portfolio growth was at the top of property management companies' list of priorities for the 7th year straight. But there's been a noticeable shift in companies' plans for portfolio growth over the past year, and that's exactly what we'll talk about in this episode of The Lookout. For 10 years now, Buildium has surveyed thousands of property management professionals to find out where their company's focus lies for the year ahead. Again and again, respondents have told us that expanding their portfolios is their top priority. In our most recent survey, 91% of third-party property management companies told us that they expect to grow their portfolios in the 2 years to come. That's about the same as what they told us the previous year, and the year before that, and the year before that, and so on. As for how property management companies will put those growth plans into action, more than any other growth tactic, they're focused on expanding their portfolios by actively recruiting new clients. Many will also encourage their current clients to acquire new properties. But over the last couple of years, we've seen an increase in the number of companies who are expanding via inorganic growth methods. More than a third plan to grow through acquisitions of other companies or investors' portfolios, particularly as we're seeing older business owners retire. A slightly smaller share are purchasing or building new properties of their own. And others are expanding the types of properties they manage or the geographic areas they serve. All of this represents a continuation of a cycle that started back in 2021. Once property managers and their investor clients had recovered from the initial shock of the pandemic, they got back to work growing their businesses. But starting in 2024, we've been seeing early signs of a shift into a new phase of that growth cycle. When we dug into the data on property management companies' growth plans, we didn't see a decrease in the overall number of companies who plan to expand. Rather, what we saw was a change in how much these companies plan to expand. Just as many companies told us that they plan to grow by a significant amount over the next 2 years. But their definition of what qualifies as significant versus slight growth has changed. In previous years, most respondents agreed that significant growth meant they planned to expand their portfolios by more than 25%. But this year, we've seen an increase in the number of companies who plan to grow by less than 25%. 50% of companies now expect to expand their portfolios on this smaller scale. That's up from 44% in 2023. So what do we think is behind this shift? In 2023, we started to see a significant disparity in property managers' growth plans versus those of their owner clients. Back then, 92% of third-party property management companies planned to expand their portfolios, and their plans to do so primarily involved recruiting new clients and encouraging their current clients to grow. But in contrast, just 35% of rental owners actually planned to add new properties to their portfolios as of 2023. So what was the reason for that gap? Rental owners cited conditions like high mortgage rates, elevated property prices, fewer properties for sale, and rising regulations on the rental market. But even before the Fed started lowering interest rates, we'd started to see significant movement in rental owners' growth plans, and a positive sign for property management businesses. In our most recent survey, 44% of rental owners told us they planned to acquire new properties in the 2 years to come, an increase of 9 percentage points over the previous year. As a result, property management companies might find themselves pleasantly surprised by rental investors' eagerness to grow in the current market. And your business might consider capitalizing on that trend by offering services that help owners grow. For example, giving investment advice and providing detailed monthly reporting. All of the information you've just heard comes from our 2025 State of the Property Management Industry Report. The report covers so much more than just portfolio growth. It dives into how companies plan to generate revenue to compensate for still rising costs, how they're tackling challenges related to maintenance, staffing, leasing, and efficiency, how companies can attract and retain high-quality renters and rental owners, and honestly, so much more than that. Download your free copy of our industry report on Buildium.com now. The link is down in the description. And be sure to subscribe to our videos on LinkedIn and YouTube for even more intel on the rental market and property management industry. That's all for now. See you next time.